Hello there, welcome back. Today I'm going to be talking about Sisters, which is a Brian DePalma film. His first major hit in the horror field. He made some films beforehand that were comedies like Greetings and Hi Mom, which I'll be doing after Christmas, but they won't be part of the original series I'm doing of DePalma films, because they're just coming out in Arrow and they're not out yet. They won't be out till next month. And by the time they come out, I'll be stopping off for Christmas, so I'll do them later. But so today I'm starting with Sisters, because this was kind of important for De Palma. It was the first time he did a thriller that was widely seen and that was popular. I mean, he'd done stuff like Murder a la Mode and little shots with, you know, horror elements, but they were more parodic. He was playing around with the conventions, but he was interested in conventions. And if you've seen these and you've seen Sisters, you know that De Palma with suspense isn't like an obvious like director. The way Hitchcock seemed to be sincerely melodramatic about what he was doing, De Palma is always like one step back from that. He's always like focused on the film, but he's kind of aware that he's in a film, that you're in a film, that everyone's watching. And this whole film and his stories are tied to who's seen what, why they've seen that, why they're reacting that way, what's affecting them. So there's lots of stuff like that that's kind of unusual. So so the first half, it feels like a normal De Palma film. Actually, if you've seen some of his later ones, it feels like, yeah, he was doing all the same stuff before, because it's riffing on Hitchcock, but it's riffing in a fun way that's not, it's not always that respectful. It's respectful but kind of teasing at the same time, and that's what's really good about De Palma. He's very teasy. He likes to mess around with the imagery and what's going on, but he likes to also kind of let you be aware there's some fun to be had with the conventions. So so it starts off with a guy who's in a sports locker room, and he's getting changed, and as a woman walks in, starts to undress, and then you pull back, you realise you're watching a TV show where it's like, will he tell her or won't he, or will he just walk away and not watch? And he walks away and doesn't look. After that, you find out he was a nice guy. He meets up with a girl who was kidding on she was blind, but she wasn't, and that was Danielle, played by Margot Kidder. And at that point they kind of hook up. And during a hookup, it turns out she's got a husband, an ex-husband, who's, you know, obsessed by her, and which they have to try and avoid. And eventually they get together at her place, and the next morning she wakes up and she's a bit messed about, so she sends him out to get some pills for her. When he comes back, she turns, someone kills him. That's as far as I want to go. I mean, you can pretty much guess what's coming if you've seen Psycho, but you wouldn't have guessed everything that's coming. Because it's aware of the fact that you've seen Psycho. Right, so that's as far as I'm going to go with that thread, because it's aware of the films you've seen, which is because De Palma's aware of the films you've seen. The film then also goes to another point of view of this bossy reporter played by Jennifer Salt, who saw the killing and reports it and doesn't take it seriously because she said some nasty stuff at the police in an article she wrote. And so you've seen it from two points of view. You've seen it from the Margot Kidder point of view, and you've seen it from Jennifer Salt's point of view, and as both characters, their storylines interact. I'm trying to avoid spoilers though, because what I've said is probably the trailer kind of stuff. But it's funny because it's such an old film, but it's a film that's not that well seen. So I'm trying to be a good sponsor for the film for anyone who hasn't seen it, who wants to see it, because there's lots of fun stuff happens after that. But what's really great about the film is the style's always changing slightly. Like whenever you go to another character, they're always radically different, so the style changes to their performance. So Charles Dunning turns up in an early part, and he plays this guy who's a private detective, but he's very goofy and he's very silly. So when he's around, the film has a more like comedic tone. When Jennifer Salt's involved, it's more paranoid. Even she's very jittery, because she's very jittery and she needs to find the truth. And then when it's in dealing with Margot Kidder, it's in the mind of a lunatic, which is unfortunate when you find out what happened later on to Margot Kidder. But this is the film. And as the film goes on, the styles just intermingle, and people end up having dreams, and people from their lives end up in these dreams, and they start dreaming of each other, and it's all kind of messed around, and it starts to resemble 60s John Frankenheimer movies, but done as a melodrama. So it's doing Frankenheimer movies, and it kind of loves them, but also is like poking fun at them, because Frankenheimer's 60s movies are great, but they've also like taken melodrama really seriously. Which is wonderful about them. There's that emotion of like, it's very melodramatic, but it's also the way he's shooting it is like a nightmare sequence. So with Frankenheimer, these two elements always clash with each other, and DePalma like takes it and just turns it into pure parody, but also keeps it scary. So it's kind of wonderful in that way as well, because he's commenting on the crazy side of, you know, movies, and the crazy side of what you expect from movies. And you know, what you're watching in a movie, really, because you can watch a movie and be into it, but also you can be pulled back and say, this is nuts. And that's what this film is. It's like throwing on the absurdities and daring you to keep going with it. The interesting thing about this film is, I'm really fond of it, but it's not, I wouldn't class it anywhere near the best DePalma film. It's his first important hit after his comedies. But I would definitely say Hi Mom and Greetings are more interesting films, especially Hi Mom. Hi Mom's brilliant. Hi Mom's insane. This is him trying to do a thriller while still keeping a sense of humour from the comedies. But it puts everything on, and it's commenting on the film it's in. But that seems to be like its main thrust. Like, it's different from like Dress to Kill, where Dress to Kill had its own these weird obsessions and these like cultural hang-ups and hand-me-downs that's powering so much of the movie. In this one, it's like you're with like young people who are fairly shallow, or they think they're deep, but the problems are fairly shallow, and then you get someone who actually has a real problem. But it's not, the film doesn't handle it, you know, in a very deep way. It handles it as a horror movie way, and it's aware it's handled as a horror movie way. You know, it's winking at you about taking it seriously within the melodrama, but it's still kind of shallow within that framing. It's not, there's not the depth that DePalma would do later on with some of these melodramas. It's like, he's still figuring out how to fit himself into that setup, and he hasn't quite figured it out yet. But this is so good. Like, in the thematic level, he hasn't figured it out yet, but on a like a stylistic level, he has. So it's really interesting, because it's hitting on all cylinders as a melodrama, and it's wonderfully tacky and cheesy, but also very sincere. But there's, after you've seen the film, there's not much below the surface. I mean, one of the film, kind of, it reminded me a lot of like the Roger Corman Poe films that had that same kind of mix of cheapness and melodrama, but were way over the top and wonderful, and you could really get into them, and they were visually fascinating. Like DePalma has like split screen sequences, like split screen where you have one person here and someone, and another screen on the other side, and they're in a different part of the frame, so they might be in the background. So there's that kind of thing, and they're moving, this person's moving and thinking about what's going to happen, and the person in the background has been paranoid or been looking around trying to find something, and it's going through these sequences, and the cameras are moving around rooms and things, and you're seeing the perspective of both people, and it's very fascinating. And it's the way things would actually happen in real life. He's using split screen to show you how two people react at the same time, rather than cutting back and forward. You're seeing a natural actor reaction. That's brilliant, and that's really cool. But he did it better later. Like, this is a really good technical show of what you can do with this technology, and it's a really good thriller technique. But I'm not sure if there's much to it beyond that. I think it's just like he's figured out the tools, but he hasn't quite clicked into how he's going to use melodrama for actual things he cares about, rather than the mocking idea of what you're watching. Like, he's still very Godardian in some ways, and it's kind of cold. And that's what I kind of don't like with the film. It still feels an influence of Godard a bit too much, in a way that's not good with DePalma. In a way that something like Hi Mom is much more him. This one feels just a bit colder and a bit less sincere. Especially when you see what happens next, because after this he goes on to Phantom of Paradise, which is one of his masterpieces. It's so good. This one is like, you know, it's a good thriller, and it's a really good melodrama, and it's a fun horror movie. It's really solid, and there's some great sequences in it. But there's the thematically, it's a bit, you know, definitely lesser of his films. Even some films that he made later that weren't as successful as a film might hold more interesting, like, themes in them. But what it actually does have, though, even though I'm saying that there's maybe not much depth to it, it has a nightmare logic. The logic of the nightmare was fascinating in this film. It really kind of goes for that more than anything else. The same way like Femme Fatale had a dream logic, this is a nightmare logic. Now, I like Femme Fatale more than I like this film, but there was a reason why I put them both back to back in this series. Like, that was intentional, because this is a nightmare logic film where people go into set pieces and they're experiencing a nightmare and they can't get out and they can't figure out what's the matter with them. And they try to figure out what the problem is, but there's no solution to the problem logically, at least when I'm interacting with these other crazy characters. And it goes on and on and on for the last 20 minutes. And I'm not telling you anything that happens in those 20 minutes, but there's this logic that keeps going and going and going. That's really wonderful. It just delivers this sense of you're in a nightmare now. It's that logic of whatever you're doing. So even when it's like jumping back and forth from different places within the storytelling, the tone of the nightmare never leaves it by a certain point. And that's what's just so great about it. I mean, it just delivers this, again, a Frankenheimer feel of the 60s where you're in a living nightmare and there's no escape. Something like Seconds, where there was never escape from that nightmare that Rock Hudson was in. That's feeling as it goes on. It just becomes this thing of you can't escape madness. Madness will infect you and corrupt you. It will infect other people. And there's lots of moments that you sense the madness of that's going through the film, and it's getting manipulated with certain people, going to other characters and infecting them. And they can't get, it's like a net below the surface, they can't get it out of their system. It's just there. And that's what the thing of the film is. It's that sense of nightmare that overrides the actual thematics. The way the different characters interact, the way the atmosphere delivers, it delivers a sense of something that's very unique. So even though I have some problems with it compared to some of his other films, I don't have any real problems with it. It's just I don't think it's as good as some of his later stuff, or even some of his earlier stuff. The nightmare logic of it all just keeps dominating and becomes a something else that you can't quite escape from, and that's what's so cool about it. That's what makes it a really good film. It's just go in knowing that you're watching a director finding his feet in a new genre. There are a couple of missteps in there, especially between scenes between the moments where he's really delivering. There's every so often there's little bits where it's meant to kind of give you a breather before the next bit, but sometimes it's a little bit unfocused, and that's a slight problem. But that's just, DePalma's always been a bit like that. He's always had these weird like bits between the peaks, sometimes meander a little bit. I mean, that's just part of his charm as a director. But that's Sisters. I hope you enjoyed it. I really enjoyed talking about it. That's what I probably know it's like more animated the more I talked about it, as I remembered a bit more. But yeah, Sisters is great. Go see it. I don't know what I'm doing next week, but I was going to do Raising Cain, but I think I'll do someone else then do that, because that's another Nightmare film. I think 3 in a row would be a bit too much. I might do one of the more normal De Palma films next week and then go back to Raising Cain, which is like his really crazy film. Okay, well, I enjoyed talking about this. I hope to speak to you soon. Okay, bye.